Well, good evening. Well, it's nearly evening. It's 5:36. Today is December 5th, 2015. My name is Qwalion Busby, and today, just briefly, I want to speak about some of the elixirs, the elixirs of life, the herbs that we so often hear about, but we just don't know quite which herbs to use, and we don't know what those herbs are used for. So I'm going to speak about some of those herbs. There are two different types that I want to speak about, and there will be very few herbs. A lot of times when we go to the doctor, or just when we're sick in general, we hear that often we have something wrong with our blood. And if something is wrong with our blood, often there is some type of disease that's manifesting in the body. I'm going to give you the herbs for that, or those particular herbs, which are called blood purifiers. The very first one is probably the most popular one. You can get them in teas, and they grow in your yard, depending on where you live in this particular region of the world in the United States. I live in San Antonio, um, and that is yellow dock. Yellow dock grows, is growing right now where we are, um, and go research the benefits of it. It's very, very high in iron, the organic iron content. Another herb, another blood purifier, let's call them blood purifiers because the way they work in the body is that we note that they purify the blood, and it shows in what it does. It is dandelion or dandelion root, basically the whole entire plant. Again, it's high in iron, so it's a blood purifier. In other words, maybe in medical terms, it is in a natural blood thinner. Blood thinner means that the blood has a certain natural viscosity, and when you add something that purifies the blood or thins out the blood, basically what you're thinning out is you're removing the thick material that isn't supposed to be there in the first place, right? And that's that element that causes disease. So that's what you're thinning out. So whenever your blood is, I guess you can say, I guess coagulated, or there's just too much stuff in it, it's too toxic, and you need a blood thinner. That's what you're doing. You're thinning out all that element that can cause disease. So another one is red clover. Okay, you can get again red clover. You can get this herb. I'm not familiar what it looks like. I haven't seen it yet, but you can get it through. Really, you can get it at almost any herb store. You can get it at HEB. I'm sure you may be able to get it at Walmart. But there is a popular company called Nature's Way where you can really get all of these herbs. But I can get it from in Austin, Texas. I go to a place called Mr. Naturals where they have a plethora of herbs. Like they're everywhere. They have everything from fenugreek to hyssop, um, activated charcoal, licorice, burdock, yellow dock. If you name it, they have it. So those are your blood purifiers, okay? This is what you want, and you want to eat. You can eat them raw. You can eat them. You can ground them up and put them in your pancakes. Put them in all of your food, especially for those that are health conscious, that primarily eat fruits and herbs, that kind of like to add spices and herbs to your food. These are great spices, great herbs to add to your food, great roots to add to your food. Dandelion, burdock, yellow dot, and red clover. Those four are your blood purifiers. Okay, we're talking about sweeping clean the blood, sweeping clean the liver. All right. The other one is astringents. Often we have, especially in females, especially in men as well, we have what you call fibroids, um, ulcers. But ulcers is different, so I'm going to stay away from ulcers because that's dealing with the stomach. I want to stay with the tissues. I want to stay dealing with the tissues. Um, tumors in the head, tumors in the brain, because the brain is a tissue. Fibroids in the prostate for male and female. We have fibroids in that particular area. So what is this? This is fibroids or ulcers or tumors or really a benign, something that is in a benign state, even on the thyroid. Sometimes you have, I guess they call it something different, but it's not fibroid. But it's all the same thing where toxins co- toxins congregate, and the body's way of holding those toxins in that particular place so that it doesn't go malign and spread, in other words, become cancerous, is they hold it. So that's what a fibroid is. When you go to the doctor, they say, hey, you have fibroids, and then they can see it and they can show you, and you can see it with your own eyes. That's because that's the concentrated areas of toxic waste. What you want to do is you want to get astringent herbs. Astringent herbs means it is going to suck the life out of it. It's going to suffocate that which is allowing that particular toxicity to thrive in your body. And these are, number one, Witchhazel. Number two, Sherperds Puse. Okay. Number three, wild alum root. And you're like, well, what is wild alum root? Well, have you ever heard of the plant called geranium? Or have you ever heard of the essential oil called geranium? That's the wild alum. You want to get the root though. You can use the essential oils, but practice. Get your root. So how do you get the root? Again, I don't know where it grows. I can't even identify it yet, but I know it works because I use it. You can get the plant, or you can buy the herb at whatever herb store that you want to go and get, or you can just go ahead and get your essential oil if you can't get the root. But that's what you want to do. You want to use geranium, and then you want to use sage. Grow sage, eat the sage raw. Um, get a mortar and pestle where you can ground up your herbs. You can dry them out. You can ground them up and just make it ground. Then you can put that in your tea, or you can take maybe 5 or 6 sage leaves, put that in your and boil water and let that simmer and let it kind of break down the minerals into the water, and then you can drink that as a tea. So, and what that will do is that will suffocate the fibroids within the body. Okay, those are your astringents. So I discussed your blood purifiers, and I discussed your astringents. So basically, you do your astringents first, you do your blood purifier seconds, or you every day simultaneously. You hit them both up. That way, let's say with the female uterine fibroids, which is popular, that's why I speak of it. You reduce that aspect, those fibroids, with the astringents, a tea 3 times a day, 4 times a day, or as much as you want, really. And then you want to sweep away the remnants with the blood purifier, because once it gets broken down, it's being cleansed out of the body. Well, your blood needs to be strong, so you're going to need iron flowing through your blood so that it can have enough oxygen to move and sweep that out of your system clean. Okay, but remember, you must honor your fruits, herbs, your nuts, your seeds, your alkaline foods, your healthy fruits. You got to reduce or remove, as what I always say, remove your meat, remove your dairy, remove your eggs, remove your wheat products. Stay again with your alkaline foods. If you need a list, Arnold Ehret has a food guide. Dr. Morse has a food guide. Dr. Sabi has a food guide. And again, I like to say, stay with your fruits that have seeds, your herbs that are green and alkaline, your nuts such as your walnut, your hazelnut, and your pecans. And then stay away from your groundnuts such as your peanuts and your cashews. And then you want to go with your seeds, which are your grains, your flours such as spelt, wild rice, garbanzo beans or chickpeas, and kamut, teff, rye, things like that. All right? Peace.